everybody, my name is Kiahonfire and welcome to a Conan Exiles video. Today we're talking about the latest article, the follower updates in the Age of Sorcery. And this one in particular is talking about your new authority ability, which is going to make you do more damage with your thralls the more you level it up. So now it will be less about the perks and less about the damage in the thrall system that way, and more about leveling your own character in authority to be able to get more powerful damage output coming from your own followers. Now sadly with this update there's going to be some really heavy nerfs on your health and damage of thralls as you once knew them. So kiss goodbye to those, and you're going to have to welcome a very new system when it comes that way. All followers will have a much lower health and damage pool as their baseline. You can still level them up and stuff and get them to 20, but now you're going to have to do this for authority. Every time you level up in authority, you do a little bit more damage with your thralls. And they've done this because they wanted to make players more equal with followers. It's going to be interesting to see how that is, because followers are usually much more powerful and tanky than the actual player, so this is going to be very interesting. What I don't quite understand is they're implementing this feature here, and then they've mentioned something about having an additional feature in the works related to survivability of followers. But they said this detail will be set at a later date. It's not coming in the Age of Sorcery update. So you're not going to get this kind of survivability of followers, help when this originally comes out. So it might be quite jarring for players when it does come, because it's going to be a heck of a change. Another thing that's going to be a heck of a change is you might not be able to knock out as good thralls as easy as you once used to be able to do. So what they've done with authority, basically it makes you do concussion and deal damage with followers better. And this will affect your ability to knock out humans. So if you want to knock out T4s or higher levels, it's going to be a lot harder to do that now. So say goodbye to the days of using a wooden truncheon on a T4 thrall, because it's going to be insanely more difficult to do this now unless you put some points in authority. So it's almost like you have to level up in this tree, or you'll have, it's going to be very difficult to just knock out, do your basic knockouts, and then deal damage with your followers as normal. It's almost like authority is now going to be very much a key attribute you're going to absolutely need in these days in Conan if you want to use followers, or if you want to knock them out. And you're going to need to knock them out, and quite a lot of them, for the new rituals, because a lot of them are needing this blood, as they mention. And the only way to get this blood is to, bring unconscious thralls you've knocked out to that, that new survival stone thing where it drains the blood and all that. Forgotten the name off a whim. But, the sacrificial stone, there we go. You're going to have to use that a lot. We've already discussed in the previous video, this new crafting station is going to be absolutely vital, and it's going to be quite grindy if you want to just use it for taking out souls. But then also for the souls to corrupt your attributes, you're going to need blood out of followers too. They go into a little bit more detail with authority perks. They say they also improve your followers in various ways, such as making enemies focus more on them over you. Found this kind of interesting. I wonder if that's going to affect bosses as well, or if you don't level this up, are the enemies just going to mainly target you now? They also mentioned this increases their survivability through health regeneration and health received. So if you also want to heal your thralls better now, you're also going to need authority to do that too. So not only are your damage ankles getting cut off and your health regenerations, getting cut off, you're going to need this attribute. This is basically telling you you're going to need it. Which I find a little bit redundant, as they wanted to give you more choice when it came to attributes, but this one's almost telling you that you absolutely need to put levels in authority if you want to get over some of the game content. Because a lot of the bosses in Conan Exiles need you to have some kind of tank or something. Or it just takes forever, or a damage dealer, because they do have quite a lot of health, or they're quite vicious. Imagine the Warmaker, he's quite nasty, not having a thrall for that, or the champion as well. is really nasty to deal with if she's always blasting your ass, especially with the AI and how it works. So I almost find it a little bit silly that they've made it so you have to rely so hard on authority nowadays, when they wanted to give you the choice of where you put your attributes a bit more. It's kind of like a double-edged sword in my eyes from how they're explaining it. I suppose a really nice thing here they mention is that one of the final perks you'll get in authority is you'll have the choice of having one additional follower, extra from what you usually have. So you'll be able to have 2 thralls follow you instead now if you update it all the way. So that could be quite a good thing. But again, you're going to have to definitely go into authority tree to do this, and this is an end perk. The other option is to give that up and corrupt your authority attribute and replace your uncorrupted perks, which means you don't get that anymore. However, it does mean that with the first perk of this one, your attacks make it so your followers have a chance to enter a frenzied state, which makes them temporarily deal increased damage. It also, as well, one of the perks in the corruption tree lets you spawn like demons per hit. It's really interesting. It's called Demon Lord, and with each hit there's a chance of a demonic follower to appear through the terror reality. So basically, you can actually apparently summon several demons this way by just attacking the subject. I'd be really interested on the multipliers on this one and how it goes and how many hits you have to do to spawn whatever, and like what the % chance is for one of these to spawn. That would be really interesting, because if it spawned a decent amount, then it could be an actual decent one to go for. But I definitely think for me, I will be definitely leveling an authority when it comes down to it, because it sounds absolutely essential for how you play Conan. They mention more about the Circle of Power in this article as well, and how it is absolutely necessary you're going to need human sacrifices. So it sounds like, again, you're going to need lots of unconscious thrall blood and all of that. So it'd be quite interesting to see how much blood you get per person, if it's just one or not, and how much you're going to need per craft. Because this could get really grindy if that's what that means. Imagine you just get like 1 blood out of them per thrall, and then you have to, just use that for a spell that maybe needs 5 blood. You'd have to kill 5 people. You're going to have to do a lot of murdering and a lot of sacrificing in this one, I think, guys. It's going to be a heavy cost. I can see it already. So, this new system with the Circle of Power, this is how you're going to also be able to summon demonic and human beings. You can summon things through this to, bring forth a powerful demon to vanquish your foes. Or call an abyssal horse, or that we saw in one of the streams there was like a rotten rhino you could use, and apparently it has a very devastating charge, this rhino here that's going to come into the game as well. So that could be used for siege and stuff, so some more PvP aspects coming in there. I'm curious if these mounts are actually permanent though, because they have mentioned a lot with these demonic things they are temporary and they don't last very long, especially with like the undead mounds you get. Those are apparently temporary and don't last very long, so I'm wondering if it's going to be the same with the rhinos and stuff. I'd be very interested to know how long they last, because that would, chalk up if they're worth doing even if they don't last very long. But it does sound like going to have a lot to do when it comes to sorcery. It's going to be grindy, I can guarantee you that, just by reading these articles. There is a lot of requirements for certain things and things you're going to need. There's going to be a lot of crafting to do, a lot of sacrificing and all of that. But I am very excited with how they've done the new authority tree. It's a little bit confusing on how they, I don't really get the fact that, they wanted to give you more choice, but then you're kind of nailed into authority because you're going to need a really decent thrall. Because if you don't have a thrall in Conan and you try to play it to the end game and do everything properly, it can be quite the struggle. Or if you need to farm things over and over again, like bosses for certain things, then yeah, it's not that fun. Especially with this new sorcery and a lot of it being utility based, you're gonna have your health cut in half and your stamina cut in half. So I can imagine trying to take on a boss like that. It's gonna be miserable. It's gonna be absolutely miserable. Anyway, a very interesting article again here to read. I hope this helped you learn a little bit more about the authority perk and the new demonic followers that are coming into the game. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.